Dogs here. Today I want to talk about the comp passes and my thoughts on it. I've been, kind of ruminating. I've seen a lot of feedback, and I see the vision that EA's trying to go with here, and I like it. Overall, it's looking fine. The issue is it's not executed at best. Outside of like just raw glitches, like us not getting rewards, and like Weekend League apparently is not on all Madden now, like I said it was going to be. Some people saying it's still all pro. With a comp pass refresh, I think it's a interesting thing they did. And you know what's so funny is, like, if you guys like the old school comp pass, if you look back, you can kind of find the old ones on PlayStation just by going to the Field Pass too. So this might be one of the reasons why it does look like menus are so slow. It's almost like this stuff is just like layered on top of each other. And maybe that's one of the things slowing down. I mean, not only like a memory leak, which I think we've had in the game for a couple years now. I think one of the biggest complaints of these things is definitely the slow menus. But like here I can see the Madden 23, and I actually didn't mind this version of looking through it because I felt like it was better because like we can go from comp pass to comp pass and stuff. So let's just go into the comp pass right now. And that's one thing is like once we're in the comp pass, we can't go to the other comp passes. We got to like back out and go back in with how slow the screens are. It's kind of annoying. So anyways, comp pass. Let's just talk about this one first before we go to other ones. Now, I think what they've done with this, and major shout out to EA for not making this pay to win, unlike 2K, which is like a fully priced game, plus they're making people pay for these passes. I think it's nice. Now, there are some critiques, obviously, and I think one of the biggest one is people just have like different things they do. I think I've heard like they're different for everybody. So in a race to the first 1,000 people to get this comp pass done, some people just have an easier time of it than others, which is kind of wild. Like, I get it, like the no-life grinders are going to be the people with a job and social life and school or whatever. And that's just something you can't really stop, but at least people can eventually get George Pickens regardless. Even though some people already have Terrell before you were able to, so there are glitches going on, which I said is one of the major problems with it. But I think one thing that is a little unfortunate will be if you get the game late, there's like no catch-up mechanism, right? So many of these things are on a week-to-week basis that I feel like if you could stack it up or maybe later in the past give us something like a 2 or 3 XP, something for people to catch up on, then instead of mustard, then it might be a little bit better, because it feels like if you miss a week, you're basically boned out of it. And with that, like if you don't do solo battles, head-to-head season, MUT champs, if you don't get all your stuff done, it's kind of unfortunate for you. And I don't like that they're time gating things. Obviously, dailies are time gated. And I really dislike dailies themselves in concept, making us hop on the rat wheel every day, get our things done, and then now they've made it harder to do than in previous years. That is something that ideally, like, they'd look to these things and try and improve them going forward. Like, another big thing is the fact that, like, players that just like to play offline, like, not everybody likes the online grind. I get it. It's the competitive pass. But not everybody enjoys that. And I feel like as a game, you got to reward the people that are good at MUT champs, good at head to seasons. Seasons are pretty good right now with trophy packs. MUT champs, they suspended it, but they did have a chance to go 25-0 for a million coins, which is a W, but then the DC glitches took over, and finally EA's taking some action on them. But I feel like you're kind of ignoring a lot of your audience by not allowing players that play offline to get it. And I think solo battles being locked on a week-to-week basis, is unfortunate for 2 reasons. One, people don't feel like there's a lot of solo content in this game, okay? So solo battles going away, and then something you have to do, I feel like if you just kept them stacked somehow, that like if at the end somebody gets the game or somebody decides to, they could just run a whole bunch of solo battles in a row. All of a sudden, you've got a ton of solo content that people have complained about from the very beginning of the game. And I feel like that's 2 birds with one stone almost. Oh, I know people don't like solo battles as much because they're full game, but back in Madden 16, people still talk about that. Those are all full game solos. So back in my day, we had to go uphill both ways. So I don't want to hear it. But I do think there should be more fun things to do in the game as far as offline. Give us more offline content. Give us more good rewards for offline, because a lot of people, like, I think there's maybe like how do I say this? Maybe there's a debate at EA on how to do these solo challenges and how to reward them versus the competitive pass and solo battles. Because right now there's no reason to go solo battles. There's no competitive. There's no like leaderboard anymore for any sort of things. And so like it's kind of like left in like a little bit of a mix. I really enjoy the fact that they're giving us an 85 B&D for completing all the headliner stuff. That's a major W for completing those rewards. I wish they would do that more. To give us big cards and stuff and reasons to grind offline for that segment of the population. Not myself. I don't love it. I'll do it. I don't love it. It's not what I play the game for. I play it for online. So there are some improvements there that can happen with the offline grind as far as like how they fit in these challenges along with the rewards from the comp pass challenges. And it just feels like offline just needs a little bit more. Yeah, take on 4 new CP opponents every morning on a weekly event. It's unfortunate they go away. I think that's my biggest problem with the offline grind. As far as stats themselves, let's talk about the stats. And I think a lot of people are kind of frustrated with a few of the stats on the comp pass, specifically because it makes us, like, takes us away from winning games at times, right? There's a few things, okay? Let's just start with the first part. They take us away from winning games, right? Some of these objectives in it are like score rushing touchdowns. So say you get a kick return and you have to run out that 1 yard line in order to get your MUT champs. Do I have rushing? Yeah, rush for 15 touchdowns. I didn't complete this last week in my 15 wins because, I just didn't. Okay, I had 14. I was like, do I want to play in another game that I also have to win, right? So I have to try. I can't just get the rushing yards. And I think that's like an issue, right? You want us to win, but you want to force us to play a certain way to grind these comp. And I don't think that's right? I think if you get rid of the only tracks during wins, I think this is fine. And I think the weekly stats need to be things that we're acquiring as we're enjoying the game, okay? And so stuff like rush for 15 yards, score 28 points in the fourth quarter. If we don't make it to the fourth quarter, like if we're winning a game, a lot of people will quit. And so giving us fourth quarter objectives is unfortunate because like you're basically I guess not forced to, but encouraged to sandbag a little to keep people in games. Obviously players that are like, not good, it'll be a lot more close fourth quarter games, and I think that's what EA is banking on. But for people that maybe are good and you get some first quarter, second quarter quits, especially with the length of games being 5 minutes now instead of 4 minutes, I don't know why they made that change. That just makes the games more, longer. And I think FIFA's great because it's got shorter games. It's like get in, get out, have fun. Don't get too tilted at once. Whereas Madden, they want you to tilt even more. So 28 in the fourth quarter. Yeah, so it's encourage you to like sandbag a little bit. And that's a little frustrating right there. So I hope they can like update some of these weekly stats and attributes to things that like just happen when you're playing the game itself. Field goals, all right, that's great. You just like they could have done just like any touchdowns. Like here they have total touchdowns. That's a good one. Tackles, that's a good one. Okay, win 15 games. That's fine to encourage people winning for a competitive pass. All right, that all makes sense to me. Okay, and so all these things combined, I think, is why the community is so frustrated with the competitive pass. Not only the glitches, but all these things that it feels like EA is, it's hard to anticipate these problems ahead of time. I'll gotta say that it's hard to, but now that we've gotten it, and we can give our feedback, these are the things that I feel like need to change. So in summation, please allow offline grinders to get the big cards. Please allow, like, I don't know. Would you combine, like, I actually don't think it's a big deal if you just combine MUT Champ Solo Battle head-to-head seasons. I see the vision. They want, like, a MUT Master every season. I get it. But, like, you can't just sit here and, like, a lot of this stuff be rewarded, and you can't get the MUT Master late. And I don't know. I think, like, if Solo Battles, MUT Champs head-to-head seasons was one big stat grind, right? If it was all just, like, milestones, I would almost enjoy that more. And the milestones you can only get during solo battles. So that way people can't just play the same solo over and over. I think that would just be a better off thing. Now, I understand you want to like fluff this out so it seems like it's, more things to do. And I get it. But I kind of would like that better overall as more of an enjoyable experience. Just give us flat stat grinds. And yeah, obviously you can reward winning and everything, win 15 games. But you can do that in, milestones also, like they do with the million coins. So that's it. That's my whole point. And then yeah, tally the race, tally everything around that. What do you guys think in the comments? Let me make sure I hit all my points. Yeah, it's kind of what I want. All right, that's it. Bye.